Hello there people, this is Bruce Cool or nintenbruce here, back again to give you a few more tips on Yu-Gi-Oh! Millennium Duels Expert Mode. And this time we're going up against Solomon Muto and his Exodia deck. Now, although Exodia sounds scary, it's no biggie at all with this one. It's actually quite a poor Exodia deck in my opinion. For those of you that really don't know what Exodia is, once Solomon gets all 5 pieces of Exodia in his hand, he automatically wins. Simple as that. Now, without further ado, let's get into the deck. I would say if, in terms of running a deck, although almost anything can run over it, don't run something which is super stally. So I'm talking things where you don't actually do anything for turns and turns and then you just unload at the last moment. You can't do that because even if you're negating quite a few of his things, he's going to draw into Exodia one way or another. So if you run anything else other than a super stally deck, you'll be fine. I mean, even ball stun? That doesn't make... Wow, watch out for the ball stun deck, jeez. But yeah, even if you're running like a burn stall deck, then that would be fine against it, honestly. Wow, a ball stun deck. I've never thought I'd say that. So anyway, one big weakness straight away is his trap cards. He runs 18 traps, so straight away put in those Royal Decrees, all 3 Royal Decrees if you can, and that blocks out half of his deck instantly. And you can use things still like Mystical Space Typhoon and Dust Tornado if you wanted to, but just remember his only continuous support card is Scrap Iron Scarecrow, and practically everything else can be just chained to. So if you're going to use Mystical Space Typhoon and the like, then make sure you activate it on a Scrap Iron Scarecrow, or use it as soon as he set the card in his turn, just to get full effect. Other than that, speaking of all his support cards, even if you wasn't running Royal Decree, you can still feel free to summon Crazy, attack Crazy if you wanted to, because he's got nothing that can actually destroy your monsters or stop your summoning. So on that front, I will say the one monster of his to watch out for is Metaion the Timelord, or Metaion the Timelord, however you like to pronounce it. Its effect is when it's summoned, or rather just in general, it can't be destroyed by battle or by effects, and if it attacks or is in battle with something, then it can return every other monster back to the owner's hands, which is crazy. Sounds really good, but then the monster itself goes back up to the hand on the standby phase next anyway, on for his turn, by the way. So yeah, that's the only monster to really watch out for. Everything else, he's got things like, or rather he actually has Zero Gardna, where once that's on the field, if you contribute it in any person's turn and stop further battle damage and destruction of other monsters. He's got Swift Scarecrow, so you can just release it at the drop of a hat if he's going to do a direct, or if you're rather going to do a direct attack, and that will negate the not only the battle but stop the battle phase period. He's also got the battle faders, so basically if you're going to declare a direct attack again, then he can just special summon battle fader and just get rid of the battle phase. So a lot of getting rid of the battle phase here. On a side note, you can Solemn Warning battle fader, so do remember that if you're going to run that. I would heavily suggest running cards which stop him adding things to his hand. So you can run the Sanctuary. You know what? I forget what its name is. Let me look back at it. Protector of the Sanctuary. That card, it's a monster with 1900 defense. There's no way he's going to run over that anytime soon. And its effect, your opponent cannot draw cards except during draw phases. So that would constantly stop him. So in conjunction with Royal Decree, it will stop him using things like Cardcar D, which is beautiful. Yeah, that would just totally lock him down. On the flip side, if you were to actually obliterate his cards as opposed to stop him drawing, then that would also work because he's got no recovery cards for his Exodia pieces. So as soon as you get rid of one of his pieces, that's it. It's game over for him. So on that front, if you're running Dark Worlds, then great, because you're probably going to use things like Drag Down to the Grave. Feel free to use Drag Down to the Grave in your deck if you're not running it anyway, just for this particular scenario. You've got Mind Crush as well, where if you see him bring something to his hand via Emissary of the Afterlife, then great, play it. Or if you found out he's drawing something else, then again, play it. You can also run things like Needleworm if you run a deck out deck. So yeah, that would also get rid of his cards from the deck and hopefully an Exodia piece into the graveyard. So as you can see, there's a lot you can do. Even if you're not running those sorts of techie cards, just general beatdown decks work out, because again, there's only so many threatening roars and Wabokus and Scrap Scarecrows that you can use, Scrap Iron Scarecrow, that you're eventually going to be able to bust through his defences and attack directly. Other than that, there's not really a lot to add here. Again, any deck can really walk over it. It's actually quite insulting that this is in the expert mode, really. But saying that, if you had anything else to add on to this, then feel free to pop it into the comments section below. But I think we've covered the main things. So just to reiterate, Royal Decrees to stop his traps. You've also got your Protector of the Sanctuary that heavily impacts it. Thunder King Rai, I haven't mentioned that, that's quite a good card. Mind Crush, Needle Worms, Morphing Jars, you can use Morphing Jar 1 and 2. Drag Down to the Grave, again another good one. Exchange if you really wanted to. All the stuff that would affect his hand would be marvellous here. So, until next time guys, you take care of yourselves, and I will see you again soon.